And it's okay, it's music, it's hip-hop, it's groundbreaking. When I do it, it's war.
Kendrick?
The prodigal son has returned. I'm alive. The ghost is walking around.
Kendrick?
But I'm saying, let's keep it real for a second.
Did you hear that, Kendrick?
If you have the love of music that you are, study. Go back and study. Study how party and bullshit was me before I met Biggie. You don't hear my style in this rap. Study how after I met Biggie, Ready to Die come out, his whole style changed. Study. Study why I would be mad. Study why I would be mad when half of New York, half of the major New York rappers, or they managers, or they agents, or they somebody was there when I got shot. We've been having traumatic nights always. I want to get away from it a lot. I tried to get away from it, but you can't. That's what they taught me. The streets didn't teach me that thug life can never die. The world taught me that. I thought I could retire and move on. When I moved on to the so-called real world, the civilized world, these motherfuckers is worse than the niggas in the streets. We got organization because we peep game. And it's not the mob really that we seeing, it's really the government. They the biggest mob. That's who we study. Governments.
Well, if that doesn't get you hyped up to talk about Kendrick Lamar today, I don't know what will.
Yeah, that was one of Pac's last interviews, and he's telling you to study. Study why he would be this way. Study why he's like this way. Study how we got to this place. And to really understand Kendrick, you need to understand Pac and everything that Pac was up against, because that's everything Kendrick's up against now. And, you know, Pac had a really strong message. He was trying to communicate to us and share his experience. And now here we are. We're decoding and we're talking about Kendrick's experience. So.
Yes. And we did study Tupac, and it led us down an interesting little rabbit hole. We'll get more into that towards the end of the video. But just recapping the last two videos that are up here. The first video that we did was Decoding Drake and Kendrick, and we're not even calling this Decoding Drake and Kendrick anymore, which is great because that man is boring. So the first video that we did back in COVID of 2020 in our kitchen, it was a little project. We told you that Poetic Justice is a diss. Kendrick Lamar wrote Drake's verse for him, got him to perform it as is. Drake dissed himself on the song Poetic Justice. Look close and you'll find gold mines in these lines.
Yep.
Sincerely yours truly, not sincerely, Kendrick and Drake. And right before you go blind, P.S. And then we didn't do anything for about 4 years when it came to Kendrick Lamar. We stayed away from it. We just kind of had it up there as a little COVID baby project for us.
Yeah. And then there was first person shooter and that kind of
kicked everything off and started everything off last spring. And then we got back together to do part 2 of our whole like breakdowns and stuff like that. In May of 2024, we did all of the stuff with the beef that reaffirmed our original theory that Poetic Justice is a diss.
We timelined everything out from Buried Alive on, and we kind of connected the dots of like, hey, there's been a consistent message here that Kendrick has been trying to communicate, that he has to bury his message alive. For some reason, he has to bury his message alive, and he has to rap a certain way. So he has to code everything.
Yes.
And we've been decoding him over the years. And now that we're done with part 2 stopped at like Not Like Us. And now we're getting into Watch the Party Die.
Yes. And it's going to be Watch the Party Die through the Super Bowl and a little bit of stuff beyond that.
Just connecting all of the dots and asking the questions of like, okay, so we get it. There's a message here that's buried alive. You're pointing to someone, to not just to Drake, but to who Drake represents. And, answering a lot of questions like, why go after Drake so hard like this?
Right.
Of all people, he's supposed to be one of the greatest rappers alive, one of the most highly streamed artists of all time. And you have all of these his peers, just so many of them lining up to take shots at him.
Yep.
And it's like, why? What else is what did he miss? What did we miss? Collectively, what is going on here? And I think that we do a pretty good job of connecting some dots and asking some bigger questions that everybody should be asking ourselves. It's going to be really exciting because we've been researching for months and months and months. We did a ton of work.
We did.
Yeah.
And, I think we should just start. Go ahead. Start with Watch the Party Die.
Okay, so Watch the Party Die came out September 11th of 2024. And we're going to go line by line. This is what we do. We break down the lyrics and we just give it a translation. We take the literal meaning of the word and we put it together so that it's basically just looking at it from a different perspective, a little bit plainer English, because this is all coded. It's also, it's his messaging. Like, we want to really understand what he's saying. We really want to comprehend what he's saying. So this is what the actual song is, and then I'll give you the translation. Okay, I'll go a couple of bars of the song and then the translation of those bars. So, okay, Watch the Party Die. I think it's time to watch the party die. This shit done got too wicked to apologize. It's different. Get him whacked and disqualified. Even kill the killers because they like taking innocent lives. So what that translates to is I'm giving up hope to save this social gathering or political group. End it. This business has gotten too evil, wicked, evil, morally wrong to rectify. It's changed. Take him out and declare him ineligible for office or activity or competition because of an offense or infringement, like disqualify him.
Right.
We even take the careers of those who end careers because they take out the young and impressionable lives, like taking out the new ones that are coming up. Like, you see what happened with XXX. I think that's kind of like, we kind of thought maybe that's what he meant by that. You know, this is just our best translation. Burn the whole village. We start over. It's really that time. Why reason with these fellas if they can't see the future first? Why argue with these clowns if the circus is well at work? What he's saying there is there isn't anyone we're saving. Time to start over. That's where we're at.
Yeah, like it's done. It's up.
Yeah. Why argue with them when all they want is to attract a lot of attention, but do not want to achieve anything useful?
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, like what is your purpose here? Who are you? Why argue with them when all they want to do... I already said that. Okay, just take that man out. Just walk that man down. That'll do everyone a solid. Just take that man out, walk him down. He walked him down the whole time.
He never liked him.
Face. This was the plan the whole time, was to take him out. It will benefit everyone. So, and then we get back to the song. It's love, but tough love sometimes gotta result in violence. If you parade in gluttony without giving truth to the youth, the graveyard is company. Tell us what casket to choose. So what he's saying here is, it comes from a place of tough love. It hurts, but it's necessary.
Yes.
If you seek attention for habitual greed or excess without being honest with the youth, with the young and impressionable, will take you and anyone like you out. Your time is up. He goes on to say, they party more than bitches. Tell me, what are you working for? They glorify scam and you get chipped over this credit card. Influencers talk down because I'm not with that basic shit. But they don't hate me. They hate the man I represent. The type of man that never dick ride because I want a favor. The man that resides in patience. So where the soldiers at? So what he's saying here is, all you do is party. Be honest. What is your goal and who do you work for? They worship the con and you pay the price for their spending.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's so deep. Influencers talk down because I'm not easy. I don't compromise for favors. I can't be bought. I'm a man who takes his time. So where are the people like me, willing to fight like me? The song goes on to say, the ones that lost it all and learned to learn from that. A thirst for life, head inside a book because he concerned with that. Information that'll change his life because he yearns for that. Dedication, finding out what's right because he earns from that. I feel for the women who deal with the clowns and nerd shit. Can't blame them today. They ain't really got much to work with. How many bitches harder than a lot of you fellas? I would trade all of y'all for Nip. I can't be proud of you fellas. So what he's saying here, the translation would be, I'm a man who takes his time. So we're the people like me, right? That's where we left off. The ones who learn and grow. The ones who want more from life, who educate themselves. The ones who long for something greater. Committed to a purpose. Search for what is moral and correct because they can receive from that. I don't judge them. Or I empathize with women that cope with jokers who lack awareness. I don't judge them. There isn't many options.
There isn't.
Y'all are weaker than the women. I would trade all of you for one Nip. So that's what he's saying there. And he's describing people who want to emulate or who want to live life the way that Kendrick does. He's looking for some followers. He's looking for people, soldiers who are willing to fight this evil that has just like taken over this party, taken over this industry, this system. So,
and it's fitting that he goes into a chorus where it's like a prayer, right? Like he's
prayer.
getting ready to go to war.
Mm-hmm.
In verse 2, he starts off by saying, I think it's time to watch the party die. Street fellas and the corporate guys, the rappers that report the lies. I need their families mortified. We can do life without them. Get their bodies organized. Tell me if you're obliged. So what he's saying there is like the street rappers partnered with the corporate suits to push propaganda onto us.
Yeah.
I need to expose them publicly because their true behavior would embarrass their families.
Yeah. Stinky behavior.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. Stinky behavior.
It's stinky.
Stinky.
We don't need them. Figure out who they are and make someone legally or morally bound to an action or a course of action.
He's rallying the troops.
Yes. No more pillow talking, chumps starting neighborhood wars, dirty mac and bitches because your spirit is insecure. The flashy fella with nasty decisions using money as a backbone. I want his head cracked before he's back home. What he's saying there is no more sex talking fools creating conflict between neighborhoods.
Yep.
Being dishonest and manipulative, these malicious men, because they have weak character. Like, it just is what it is. The flashy fellow with nasty decisions using money as a backbone. Ostentatiously attractive or impressive man.
That's what that means. Yeah.
With unpleasant and spiteful choices, no backbone, someone who lacks courage, strength of character, or the ability to stand up for themselves. I want his head cracked before he's back home. This is just crazy. The radio personality pushing propaganda for salary. Let me know when they turn up as a casualty. I want agony, assault, and battery. I see a new earth filled with beautiful people making humanity work. What he's saying there is it's not just the artists.
No, it's the media
in on this.
too.
It's the media. It's the radio personalities helping push this propaganda onto the masses.
Yeah.
Let me know when they are badly affected by this as well. I want them to feel this. I want this change. And I want more people speaking up.
And it's worth it to say that A New Earth is an Eckhart Tolle book. If you don't know, if you haven't read that book, please go read it because it really helps you get out of your ego state. So the New Earth is like this vision of like humanity where we aren't being like driven by our ego states.
Right.
And that's where we are experiencing, like we're stuck in our pain bodies, you know?
You're stuck in your pain body.
So it's just about, it's about getting out of that and just being more present. So that's how
being
Kendrick,
in the now.
Being in the now, yeah.
These themes,
it's
important to note because this is like the books that he's reading and this is his, like you see it in the artwork.
Yeah, he keeps making references to it. This is like, he's motivated by this.
Yes. Let's kill the followers. Back to the song. Let's kill the followers that follow up on Poppin' Mollies from the obvious degenerates that's failing to acknowledge the hope that we're trying to spread. If I'm not his vote, then you need to bring his fucking head or film that shit in high res. What he's saying there is be louder than the followers who only want to party and hang out and bullshit.
Yeah.
The clearly corrupt that refuse to accept the promise of a positive future that we are all trying to cultivate. If he doesn't agree with me, then you need to expose them and put them on camera. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Keep talking about it.
Yeah, because it's about, like, we want to grow and we don't want to stay
stagnant.
And in this, like, just perpetual cycle of pain and suffering that our current, like, Hollywood media really tries to keep us in.
Right.
Keep us in survive or flight, you know? Keep us from thriving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, the chorus getting into a prayer and then verse 3.
Verse 3.
Go ahead. That's you.
I'm clearing my throat. Okay. Sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do. Fuck these fellas up or show them just what prayer do. I want to be empathetic. My heart like D1, but I will. It's time to get these devils out the way. Heavy metals on my tongue. Heavy metals on my sword. So what he's saying here is, sometimes I wonder what a Christian would do.
Mm-hmm.
Walk away, like leave it, like screw these guys, let them handle it.
Yeah.
Or pray, show them God. I want to understand them. My heart is pure. Like I want to help them, but I will. And then he goes blank for a second. Time to remove these evil spirits, strong words on my tongue. So when he says heavy metals on my sword, his tongue is his weapon.
Yes.
It's his sword. Okay. So we settle disputes today, the ghetto Hollywood divorce. Say hello to your future fate, the culture bred with carnivores. Let them snack, they eat your face, the signature is being forged. So what he's saying here is we settle hard disagreements, time for the minority to leave Hollywood.
Yep.
Greet your future beyond your control. So they're trying to control the future, but the truth is that the future is beyond your control. And now Kendrick is in the now. He's the one in the driver's seat. So they have no control over the future.
Yeah.
It's the future that they can't control. The arts made babies with the enemies. That's what the culture bred with carnivores. The arts made babies with the enemies. Propaganda. The leopard ate your face. You give them anything and they'll take everything.
Exactly.
The agreement, the contract is fake. It's forged. Okay? It's null and void. They wonder why I'm not enthused to drop. The more visible you get, the more your spiritual is tired. It's cynical to say, I know these artists are petrified. The end result, in jail by Jezebel or drugged up, full of lies. So what he's saying here is every time I drop, they come for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which they do.
Yeah, and it might be negative to say, I know these artists are scared, but it ends with incarcerated by an immoral person who deceives people to get what they want. So or addicted and confused and fed lies. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, he's saying that, these are the motivations behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Critical. I know my physical is tested all the time. I'm pitiful, sunk in place as soon as I'm questioned in my pride. I'm seeing ghosts, blacken out, relapse in one thought at a time. I spare no feelings that ain't mine. I'm in my feelings when I slide. I wonder what Lecrae would do. So here he's saying, this situation could be disastrous. I know my being is being tested.
All the time.
All the time. And, that's part of the reason why, he came out with Mr. Morale. He's showing you how he gets through it.
Yeah.
And Eckhart is a big part of that. And right now he's describing
Reach
to
out
you.
to Eckhart.
Yeah, that he also struggles with these things that we all struggle with, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's feeling inadequate, sinking to a dark place, confronting his ego, PTSD, losing sight, falling back into old habits when I overthink, not staying in the now, not staying present.
Not staying in the present.
He's staying in his pain body. Okay? It's the, what did he say it was? What? The insanity of humanity.
Oh, the insanity of humanity.
I spare no feelings that ain't mine. I'm in my feels when I slide. I don't avoid saying it because it might hurt your feelings.
No, I'm going to say it.
No, I'm expressing my feelings when I ignore yours. What I mean is, if you're wondering what a Christian would do, okay? And then he keeps going. Terrence Martin said, I'm mentally with layers true. I flood the market with my best regards. I paid your dues. And so it's up. If you ain't one of ours, it's bad news. My fella Jay Estrada said, I got to burn it down to build it up. That's confirmation. That confirmation real as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't too many real as us. Locking into what I trust, looking outside. The kids live tomorrow because today the party just died. Mm-hmm. So what he's saying, how he's ending this is he's saying, if you're wondering what a Christian would do, I flood the market with my well wishes. I earned your place in hip hop for you.
Mm-hmm.
He paid his dues. He ghost wrote for Drake. That's what you're supposed to do when you get in the industry, right? He paid for his spot. The free ride is over. If you aren't real, sorry to tell you, because he gave him plenty of time. It's been 15 years.
Yeah, he gave him a very long runway.
He's been saying through every album, be real, or I'm coming for you. This is going to end. I will end this someday.
Mm-hmm.
And today's the day, right? When he says, my fella Jay Estrada said, I got to burn it down to build it up. That was that confirmation was real as fuck. It ain't too many of us real as us. What he's saying is, I was thinking the same thing, and that's who I trust.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm surrounding myself with people. Those are the opinions I care about.
Right.
Looking for like-minded individuals who I can trust on the outside of my circle. So he's building building this cultural moment.
He's got his inner circle set. Now it's time
he's
to
building his following, and he wants you to really understand what he's trying to teach you and how he envisions the future of the music industry.
Yep.
I'm ending this. He's saying I'm ending this so that the future can live.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, like in Watch the Party Die, Kendrick is talking about the party and that the industry and the people who have been benefiting from Black culture, art, and enriching themselves they're engaging in just this nasty behavior.
Yeah,
like
horrible.
That's what he's sick
Horrendous.
of. He's like, we're done.
Yeah,
like enough is enough.
Yeah, and he's calling out everyone. He wants this message to be seen. He's calling out. He wants you to call out the fakes and the abusers. He wants to expose the industry and the players so we can know who they are and we can identify them.
Right.
He wants us to decode the lyrics. He wants everybody to be doing this.
And he wants help. He's helping us, I should say, discern what is real and what is fake.
What is art and what is propaganda.
Exactly.
Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through, because the Watch the Party Die really sets up GNX, the Timothy Chalamet interview, which we're going to talk about, the Super Bowl
halftime show,
and then how it all connects.
Yep. So then we out of nowhere, so he drops that in December out of nowhere because he's not telling people how he's moving anymore.
That's the other thing. He's not asking permission anymore. If you heard what happened with the Clips album, there's a reason why they had a panel of people and they were saying, this is what you can say and this is what you
can't have Kendrick
say.
Lamar on your record or on your album.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a lot of oversight.
They didn't want to draw
now.
any attention to the messaging in the new Clips album because we just listened to it. And I've been listening to it on repeat, and I'm telling you, I think definitely they heard this call to arms. Pusha T and Malice, they heard this call. And Pharrell, and they heard this call to arms, and they responded. And this is their response. And the
artists are now
taking back the art.
Yes, exactly. And it's really cool to watch.
And it's really cool to watch. So keep that in mind. But so GNX, he drops GNX. He doesn't tell anybody.
Nope. Random day in November.
Yeah, which is how I feel like most artists are going to kind of like have to move now, just because like we saw with the Clips album, they dropped them from the label and they had to get picked up by somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And it's fitting that he starts
Censorship.
out. Yeah, and it's fitting that he starts out with whacked out Murals on that album because it's like he's telling you like immediately, yesterday somebody whacked out my mural. That energy will make you fellas move to Europe. It's regular for me. Yeah, that's for sure. The love and hate has been definite without a cure. What he's saying there is like, and this is like the discourse I see online all the time. And I don't understand why other creators haven't really had this take except for us on the internet. But he's not talking about someone whacking out the mural of him in LA.
Yeah, it's a double entendre.
He's saying, like, yesterday somebody whacked out my mural. My art.
My art.
My mural, not of me. It's a double entendre for his work, for his art, for his songs. Mm-hmm. And he's saying they've been misrepresenting his art regularly.
Yeah.
Like, it's regular for him that they do this to him.
The media misrepresents him on purpose because they don't want you to understand the deeper messages in his songs.
Yes, and the deeper themes.
Yeah.
And again, the love and hate is definite without a cure. It's another callback to Real. A Euphoria reference. It's always been about love and hate, right?
Yeah, and Real is like a sibling song because we didn't break down every song in this album. And if you go through like his discography, a lot of like almost every album has songs that have similar messaging. He's very, very consistent. So Real is a sibling, or Man in the Garden, which is his favorite track
song on GNX. Yeah,
on GNX. What he said in the Timothy Chalamet interview is really a sibling to Real, which is he's saying, this is who I am, and then this is who my antithesis is. This is what I embody, and then this is what my antithesis embodies.
Mm-hmm.
So he's showing you that, and he keeps referring back to Real. So you want to continue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, he's just so blunt to start the album, right? Fuck everybody. That's on my body. My blick first, then God got me. I watch him pander with them backhanded compliments, put they head on a Cuban link as a monument. He's basically saying there, fuck everybody who's coming for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I watch them suck up and say things that they don't actually believe. They compromise their integrity
in exchange for favors.
Money. And he's like, fuck it. I'll take them out too. I don't care.
Anybody who's like that.
You're done.
Yeah.
Don't acknowledge me, then maybe we can say it's fair. Take it to the internet, and I'm going to take it there. He's, again, it's this narrative that, like, and you saw it throughout the beef, like, oh, they both won. Drake and Kendrick both won.
Oh, gee willikers, I really hope they do a feature together.
You want to see propaganda at work? Go watch the Hulu special where, and hey, sister, get your paycheck. Congratulations on being on ABC. Congrats. But there's no way, like, the special ends.
They're trying to save Drake's, like, whatever morsels of Drake's career are
right.
left.
But it's wild to me that, like, she gets on there and the last thing she says is, like, all this beef aside, I just really hope that they'll set aside their differences
and they'll make music
and get back to making music together again. He's never gonna work with Drake ever again. No,
and Drake will never work with him again because, like, imagine like
the awkwardness. Like,
yes.
I called you a pedophile. Okay, let's work together.
Yeah, I think we're beyond working together.
Yeah,
again.
it's just that is propaganda in the work.
Yeah.
But again, this narrative that they both won, that they're both great, requires you to ignore all of Kendrick's work on this.
Yeah, it does. It really, the whole body of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Drake uses the internet as well. He's notorious for using bots, IG, and fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Kendrick is also relying on the internet, his fans, to help decode his lyrics.
Yeah, and really, like, get his messaging out there. Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit later in the song, again, another point of reference I want to make is where he goes, "Where are you from? Not where I'm from. We're all indigenous."
Yeah.
That is another callback to Poetic Justice.
Poetic Justice,
and Kendrick is notorious for calling back to his own work.
Yeah, especially in these latest diss tracks. He has done callbacks to Poetic Justice and Money Trees. Where's the perfect place for Shay?
Consistently.
Under Money Trees. Where's Poetic Justice? Under Money Trees.
In the album list.
He performs these two songs
back to back on the tour for a reason.
Which he hasn't done since the Good Kid, Mad City tour.
Exactly.
So he's doing all these callbacks for a reason, and that's because we're really the only ones talking about this. Mainstream media and everybody else just keeps ignoring these references where he's telling you, I've done this before. Go back and look at these songs.
And if you think we're a bunch of crackpots, I've literally reached out to writers at Rolling Stone, and they would rather change their bios on their Instagram than have a 10-minute conversation about me about this topic. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and we get told quite frequently that we're right in private. But
yes,
then
it's always in private. It's never in public.
But then in public, it's like just quiet. But there are a lot of people that do support us, and we have been reached out to numerous times to say, hey, you guys are right. Mm-hmm. People who have talked to TDE members, and that TDE has said themselves that
they've seen our
videos,
and we're the first ones to get it right.
Yeah. So
again, where are you from? Not where I'm from. We're all indigenous. Again, it's a Poetic Justice reference where Kendrick is kicking Drake out of the van and off the track at the end of Poetic Justice, right? And he's saying there as well, like, it doesn't matter where you're from. We're all connected. Like, if you think like me, if your spirit is aligned with mine, we're together in this.
Yeah. Against all odds, I squabbled up for the dividends. Mm-hmm. Against all odds, I showed up as a gentleman. I done lost plenty of friends, 16 to be specific. I put that on my kids' children. We gonna see the future first. Okay, so right here he's saying the against all odds. He brings it up twice. And anytime Kendrick makes a reference to another song, even like in Squabble Up, like the Roots reference in the music video, he's telling the listeners to go back and like listen to the songs. He wants you to think about it and like decode these lyrics and really comprehend what he's saying. So, and I went and I looked at Against All Odds, and what he's saying is, I am against all of these odds as well. So all of the odds that Tupac is talking about in that song, which is not just the competition. It's not just like
it's not just Nas
East
and Biggie,
Coast, West Coast drama. It's also him against the feds.
Yes, talking about the federal government setting him up.
Like the thing, like if like the back at the beginning of this video, the intro where he's talking about study me, study why I am this way, and if you study Pac, you're going to find out a lot about the government.
Exactly. Period.
So what Kendrick's saying is, I am up against all of these same odds. Mm-hmm. And I squabbled up for the dividends. Like, I it's a call to arms. Like, we're going to take it back. Okay. And when he says, I showed up as a gentleman, like, he's learned from Pac. Like, he learned what not to do.
If anything you take away from this video, know that Kendrick Lamar saw that man, the way that he moved in his career, admired him, but learned from what he did right and learned from what he did wrong. Exactly.
And because, you know, unfortunately, like, he was saying things so plainly, I think that's probably it's what
caused a lot of issues in that man's life.
Yes, a lot of hardships. I done lost plenty of friends, 16 to be specific. So yes, he has lost friends as a result of, you know, the community, like the violence that is perpetuated onto his communities, but also it could be a double entendre for
16 bars.
For 16 bars, the features that he had to the ghostwriting that he had to do for Drake early in his career, so that nobody knows about because he was forced to sign an NDA. So now we're getting into fellas from my city couldn't entertain old boy, promising baked transactions and even Bitcoin. I never pieced it up. That shit don't sit well with me. Before I take a truce, I'll take him to hell with me. If that money got into the hands of a crash dummy, could jeopardize my family and burden the ones who love me. So here he's referencing Drake offering money in Bitcoin in exchange for dirt on Kendrick. We all know about that.
Right.
I never pieced up. That shit doesn't sit well with me. He walked his enemy down the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, again, he's saying, like, we have never been friends, and I am not going to kiki. I'm not going to, like,
any of that.
We're not going back. We're only moving forward, and we're leaving all of that behind. They want a truce, and that's what he's saying here. They want a truce. So anything that you hear about it just being like, oh, who's going to take the pops? Well, now it's Kendrick. It was Drake. Now it's Kendrick. No, that's not good enough.
It's never going to be a truce.
It's not going to be a truce. And Kendrick still has yet to get the credit and the respect that he deserves for the entirety of his career, the entirety of his art, you know, from like the inception into the industry until now. You want to?
Yeah, fellas mad because I decided not to pretend. Y'all stay politically correct. I'm going to do what I did. What he's saying there is like, I'm going to do me and I'm going to finish what I started. I don't care. You can stay politically correct, but it ain't going to be me.
Yeah.
Ain't no sympathy here. This shit's hilarious. It's a lot of opinions, but no power to carry it. 2025, they're still moving on some scary shit. Tell them quit the job and pay the real fellas they severance. A lot of people have opinions on this. You can scroll for hours on TikTok and get all this content about it.
Yeah.
But a lot of those opinions have no power to carry it, right? Like there's no purpose, there's no strength or weight to what they're saying.
Yeah, they're kind of just all like it's like a echo chamber, you know, just echo the same messaging essentially. There's a lot of good takes, but they don't all
it's very few and far between when it comes to this subject.
Yeah.
2025, they're still pushing propaganda for money. They're still not. And again, in this context, they're not reporting on his art accurately. They're not talking about his art.
They're whacking out his murals.
They're whacking out his murals.
Yeah.
Tell them to quit and pay the real ones that they fired. It should be noted that the interesting thing about all this is when the beef popped off in May, I was in the studio. I still had a job in radio.
Yeah.
I did a video where I'm just like explaining Poetic Justice and everything like that. The video goes viral.
Yeah, because this was before Euphoria dropped. So you know, we're defending
before
Kendrick.
Euphoria.
Yeah, before Euphoria.
Before Not Like Us.
So and at that time, you got to understand, at that time, everybody was saying like, oh, well, you know, Drake keeps putting out these diss tracks and
Kendrick's got to drop.
Kendrick
why is he
dropped.
taking
He's
so
scared.
long?
And we're like, hey, actually, we actually know something about this, and
that the internet really doesn't.
Yeah, like Kendrick actually dissed Drake back like years ago. Like he
murdered him.
He will respond, but you know, he has already proved that he is way better than Drake. And it didn't like, you know, it got a lot of attention, but then Euphoria drops.
Right.
And so it was literally like the 2 weeks before Euphoria drops that we're putting out all these videos. You get over 600,000 views.
And then the sound goes missing from it.
Yeah, the sound gets taken down.
TikTok takes the sound away.
After it gets 600,000 views.
Yep.
My video gets over 250,000 views. And then
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, so Euphoria drops, and then so this all happens within like a week, 2 weeks of each other.
Right.
And then Saturday Night Live drops. that Saturday after Euphoria, and it's a video of Dua Lipa dressed in a blonde wig breaking down
blonde wig.
Yeah, breaking and I had short blonde hair at the time, breaking down Kendrick Lamar and Drake for the internet. And at that point, you got to understand that really the only people talking about the Drake and Kendrick beef
in this way was us.
Because Kendrick hadn't responded yet, were the people who actually care about this content and make this kind of content.
Right.
So because we had already made this type of content, we were talking about it. None of the mainstream
anybody's
was really talking, just rap commentators were.
Right.
So it really felt like they're making fun of us talking about it. Mm-hmm. And then it was this whole...
And then I lost my job.
And then he lost his job in radio. And then...
I haven't had a radio job since. So...
it is crazy because of, like, there's more to that. Like, we can talk about that at another time. But,
pretty crazy.
We're pretty much blacklisted from radio now.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because we're talking about things we shouldn't be talking about. And we're not saying that it's related.
We're just saying this all happened at roughly around the same time.
I'm just laying out a time of an event.
Coincidences, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So he continues on saying... don't insult my intelligence. I'm not just for the television. Teleport to Bullis Road and dig up all my relatives.
Yeah, and everyone was trying to say like Severance was about the television show. And I do think Severance is like an example of the arts trying to wake people up. But at the same time, he's saying, I'm not just for the television. So he's not talking about television. Television is a type of media. Radio is a type of media.
Right.
What he's saying is, I'm not just doing it for views, ratings, likes.
And don't make me look dumb.
And don't make me look dumb. Like that's not why I'm doing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He continues on saying, okay, let's settle it. These fellas been fake loyal. Since you're pandering to choose a side, let me do it for you. Okay, fuck your hip hop. I watched the party just die. Again, this is the first track, after releasing Watch the Party Die. So,
Watch the Party Die. Yeah.
It's like boom, 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 boom. And again, he's saying there like, since you guys are playing both sides, since y'all are playing sides, let me pick one for you. Like, fuck your possession of your version of hip hop.
Yeah, like your version of hip hop. Yeah.
Exactly. Fellas thought that I was antisocial when I stayed inside of my house. You're better off to having one woman, everything tricky right now. You fellas live in denial. Fuck anybody who's empathetic to the other side, I vow. He's saying there, like, if they're empathetic to the other side, it's because they empathize with those people.
People empathize with who they relate to the most. So if they're empathizing with someone like Drake, then that means that they relate to that lifestyle, or they are benefiting from that lifestyle.
Exactly.
That wrong, wicked, corrupt lifestyle.
He continues on by saying, no juice inside of my cup. I sober up and knock them all off. He sobered up, got clean to take them all out.
To be able to handle this, what he's trying to do here. Like,
that's why he's doing burpees in the park.
It needed his full attention. He needed to have the strength to get through this. Yeah, he had to get his spirit right.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. Again, Andrew Schultz snitched on himself. No one in the world said that it was Andrew Schultz until Andrew Schultz said, hey, you're talking about me.
Yeah. And they just tell on themselves.
They do. Like, he goes on Shay Shay, and he was Club Shay Shay, and he was like, I take offense that he's saying slide on my friends, Shay Shay, when literally the following lines after this, I know propaganda work for them, and fuck whoever that's close to them. The fellas that coon and the fellas that been grooming, slide on both of them.
Yeah.
Think about who Andrew Schultz is connected to, and maybe, I don't know, look up what Charlemagne did with a teenager.
Yeah. I mean,
just saying, like, and then he's just out there snitching on himself. Well, it's crazy.
And like we said, he hasn't really talked about radio personalities before in his work, but now he's like calling them out directly and saying like, hey, you guys are pushing propaganda.
And it should also be noted that a lot of my content outside of Kendrick, I call out the radio industry for pushing propaganda.
Yeah, he does. Actually, it's quite...
Made a lot of videos about that. So I just say it.
Yeah.
What do we say? Reality is stranger than fiction?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You ever ate Captain Crunch and proceeded to put water in it?
They're not like us.
And I'm one of you.
Yeah. Who am I? Or this is who I am. Whacked the murals out, but ain't no legend if my legend ends.
Yep.
They messed with my art, but the art outlives the artist. Again, a callback to Poetic Justice
And
or
Money
to
Trees.
Money Trees and Poetic Justice. Everybody gonna respect the shooter, but the one in front of the gun lives forever. That you can kill the revolutionary, but it's not gonna kill the revolution.
Exactly.
Right? The artist lives forever. So now
if you want breakdowns on Squabble Up, we have that up on Dez's TikTok. Go ahead and look that up.
Just so you know, Squabble Up references Money Trees, Poetic Justice,
Tupac Shakur.
Everything that we're talking about is, again, it's just reiterated through. He's just he's reinforcing this message until people get it.
Yes.
And Squabble Up is just it's a rallying cry. It is a call to arms for anybody and everyone to decode the lyrics and to look at it
and
deeper.
sink your teeth into this because it's really fucking cool. This is one of the coolest things on the internet.
And we really wanted to break that one down for you in this one, but since we already have it broken down and we have so much to get to, we figured we'll just send you guys there and we can repost it if we need to.
But the one that really stood out to me on the album,
this one got us both really excited,
was the Heart Part 6. Because if you look at the Heart Part 6, it's like it's another, like, he does this all the time in his career. Like, if Poetic Justice exists, Luther is like the sibling song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
he repeats himself a lot, but it's
the same message, just packaged differently.
Yeah.
And in the Heart Part 6, he's essentially telling you, go back and listen to the Heart Part 3.
Yeah.
And think use your heart and not your eyes. Think about what it is that I'm saying on that song. And it's basically like the Heart Part 6, he's saying, like, load up the Pro Tools and press 3, studio filled with Jack in the Box and Pepsis. Mm-hmm. He's telling you, like, he's laying the scene of what they were doing when they were recording the Heart Part 3.
Well, what they were doing when they were recording Good Kid, Mad City.
Yes.
So the Heart Part 3 really sets you up for Good Kid, Mad City, which is his introduction, his first studio, not studio album, but his first album in the industry.
Yes. And you can start with the Heart Part 3. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is
and we're just going to break this down, like, a little bit of the Heart Part 3,
and then
a little bit of the Heart Part 6.
And we kind of lined it up like, okay, here's like a verse or a couple of lines of the Heart Part 3. Here's a couple, like, the first couple of lines of the Heart Part 6. Like, we lined them up.
They're mirror images of
each other, and they reference back to each other. So it's really cool. So we'll try to keep it, like, nice and organized for you. Okay, so the first verse of the Heart Part 3. When the whole world sees you as Pac reincarnated, that's enough pressure to live your whole life sedated. Find the tallest building in Vegas and jump off it, but I could never rewrite history in a coffin. So what he's saying here is knowing Pac's story is paramount to understanding Kendrick. So everybody sees him as Pac reincarnated. So same messaging, same purpose. Living up to Pac's legacy is enough pressure to get you hooked on drugs or to get you, like,
or to
mess
kill
with
yourself.
Your head. Yeah. He could never evoke evoke change if he ends up dead like Pac, or it could also be a buried alive reference as well, because his message is now buried alive in the lyrics. So he feels like he's in this confined space. He has to code his lyrics, unlike Pac, who died because of what he was saying.
How brash and how loud he was.
Yeah, so it's like this tightrope that he's walking. Like, he wants to get his message out there, but he doesn't want to get killed for it.
No, that
but
would
he
suck.
also wants you to understand what he's saying, but he's afraid you're not going to understand what he's saying
because
he has
it's coded.
to code it.
Exactly.
Right? So he goes on to say, so I'm talking to God. Can you wash all these demons off me? This last year has been quite similar to Aaliyah. Controlled my own destiny, only rapper that steered a G5. G's give high fives to me and say, Kendrick, just persevere. The presence of being real. So what he's saying here is a G5 is the strongest storm. And he's saying that he's the only rapper navigating this storm himself. No one else is behind the wheel but him. It also implies that everyone else is being steered by somebody else.
Or something
else, right? And again, another reference back to the song Real in Good Kid, Mad City. It's throughout his whole discography, okay?
Yeah.
Again, very similar to the song Man in the Garden or even DNA.
Right.
Right? So
who I am,
who they are.
Exactly.
Right? As I lay in this four-corner room, staring at candles, thinking, how can I make an example for this generation of Compton? My biggest fear is not feeling accomplished or turning back to the same accomplice. My past life was a child with no act right, trying to smile in a room of killers, turned into a crash site. Influenced by fellas that spoke the gang culture fluent, assuring that some blossom early and some truant. I always struggle, with that word. I don't know why. Thank God for the album I idolize. It's dark and plus hell is hot. That's the start of this crazy ride. So what he's saying here is his biggest fear is not achieving what he set out to do, which is change the game, right?
Yes.
He wants to change the game.
Huge impact, Tupac-sized impact.
Set himself aside from everybody else. And he's
set himself, above
everybody else. Creating a new standard for hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. And he's worried that he will have to turn back and start working again with the same entities that gave him his in, like i.e. Drake. and who Drake represents. And this presence could be the industry alone, or it could be the industry and the government. You know, we're not really sure who
open to interpretation.
Yeah. His past life, what he's talking about, my past life was a child with no act right. What he's saying is my past life, meaning before I got into the industry, before he got signed, when he was young and impressionable and had no manners, and he was trying to keep it cool in a room full of killers. So the enemy. And he's afraid of them. Think about this. This is a young Kendrick sitting in this room.
Trying to get a record deal.
And he's being influenced by fellas that know the same language that he spoke. So like knowing the gang lingo, knowing how to talk, but knowing the language isn't the same as being native to the language and really understanding it. You know, I just wanted to make that
abundantly clear.
Yeah. Some get there fast, assuring that some blossom early and some truant. Some get there fast and some take their time. This is a lesson I've learned in my life. Like you can get there really fast, but it's going to cost you something. Everything has a price.
Yes,
right?
It's going to cost something. Yep.
Yeah, the faster you get there, the bigger the price. You can still get there and take your time and do it right and lay a solid foundation, you know? He says, thank God for the album I idolize. It's dark plus hell is hot. So I went back and I looked at that whole DMX album. And what really stood out to me is the letters to God, which we see throughout Kendrick. He talks to God frequently, right? Throughout his album.
Same as DMX.
But the first three DMX albums, he also talks to Satan. He talks to the devil. So it really stood out to me, the song Damien. So go back, look at that song. And I think that this album, those two talks, I think it helped Kendrick distinguish and, you know, discern between what was of God and what was of the devil, like what was bad, and helped him really discern, like when he encountered it, he could recognize it.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's important to note, like going back to the Heart Part 6, like he's weaving the story of the Heart Part 3 in and out, but he's also, because again, like what happened during the beef was Drake dropped the Heart Part 6, in which I think that's the song where he's accusing Dave Free, one of his best friends, or his best friend, I should say. It is his best friend, one of having a kid by Whitney, his wife. Like, yeah.
So he
just an insane thing to say.
He answers this accusation by talking about it in the Heart Part 6, but also referencing back to the Heart Part 3, which details his relationship.
Dave is, right? So he's saying...
we're back to the Heart Part 6 now.
Dave had a Champagne Acura, a bunch of instrumentals I freestyled in the passenger. You know, he talks about how they were in this little thing of ours we called TDE. I watched Dave take some penitentiary chances, to say the least. Like, he was doing everything he could to get these guys on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what's important to note here too, is that it was a group effort. It was TDE versus everybody else. Like,
yes.
It was a group effort to put, not like, it was like, who's gonna make it? Put one of them on the map. It just so happened to be Kendrick.
Right. And then again, he's saying, like, that's my dude for sure. Like, he's, again, like, why would Dave Free have a baby by my lady? Like, it would never happen. Like, this is my best friend. And then he also talks about Schoolboy Q, right? Like, he brought over Q, but Q didn't rap, but he learned from our inspiration. He, again, a callback to the Heart Part 3, where he says, like, Q ain't got a place to stay and he's about to sleep on the couch. We're eating off each other's trays, the dollar menu amount. Like these guys were starving, broke artists trying to make it.
Working together, not seeing each other as competition, but helping each other out, helping each other up.
And again, the mirror image of that when Kendrick continues in the Heart Part 3. Two young fellas, me and Dave inside the garage, thought we was Jay and Dame. That's the lane we tried to drive. Like detailing the early days of him and Dave Free aspiring to be as big as Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Like that was what it was going to be. Kendrick was going to be Jay-Z. He was going to be Dame Dash. They were going to be record moguls. You know what I mean? Continuing on again in the Heart Part 6, these mirror images, like it's so crazy to me that this conversation has not happened online yet. It's like really annoying.
When we realized it, we got super, super geeked about the Heart Part 3. We were like, let's go Heart Part 3.
And I figured this out. Like, I want to say it was like before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. I was breaking down, like, I think I was breaking down,
here
like,
we are
Watch
in
a Party
July.
Die. And you're like, dude, look at the Heart Part 6. And we were both like,
I know. And
just so excited to break down the
And
Heart
I'm sitting
Part
there
3.
thinking, like, okay, hopefully we get all of this out before someone picks up on this, but no one has talked about it. It's kind of crazy.
I know. I don't know why we even get worried anymore. We're like,
I'm not worried at all.
Too far ahead. Okay.
Light years. Continuing with the Heart Part 6, Punch played Phil Jackson in my early practices. Punch was coaching him how to get through this. Like, if you're gonna do and you're gonna take this shot at Drake, which is incredible. You will never find another
come up
rapper
with this plan, this whole little
that
plan
will set Kendrick apart.
It's like Ocean's 11.
It
but it's TDE,
and
they're
music.
taking back rap. It's so cool. They performed a heist.
They did. They performed a heist.
Walked out with the safe.
Yep. Walked out with the safe. Yep. They did that. Punch played Phil Jackson in my early practices. Strategies on how to be great amongst the averages. Strategizing on how to do something that no one else
has done. So think about that. Like,
what is the thing?
This is what sets him aside from everybody else. This is why he says that he's the best.
Tell me why you think you deserve to be the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Because you should be asking me.
Yeah.
Because I pulled this thing off and I haven't gotten my credit yet.
Yeah.
And once he gets his credit, you'll never be able to take it from him.
And that's why Kendrick's peers celebrate him as the best versus Drake. Drake has to convince you that he's the best, but Kendrick is exalted as the best. Like his peers.
Like Pusha T saying, how can you right your wrongs when you don't even write your songs when he was going at Drake?
Like
how Eminem.
The artists know, the
real artists see this.
See what he did back then. And we've been able to find, and if you haven't seen that, you should go look at Anthony's TikTok, as he breaks down like how
Eminem knows,
tips his hat at what Kendrick did.
Yep.
And that was way back in like 2013, 2014.
Yeah. So Eminem peeped it right away. So
yeah,
it's like,
and in the Pusha T Infrared song, he tips his hat to Kendrick in
like,
this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
the Heart Part 3, go ahead.
So then Kendrick just starts about, truthfully.
So now we're going back. We were at the Heart Part 6. Now we're bouncing back to the
mirror
Heart Part 3.
images.
Yeah.
The Heart Part 3, he continues by saying, truthfully, I just started rapping to get away. I never thought your favorite rapper would want a verse.
Yeah.
Not my favorite rapper, yours.
So industry's chosen
and at the
number
time,
one rapper.
And at that time, it was Drake.
It was Drake.
And Kendrick.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. And honestly, Drake was getting so much push. Like, I remember the Sprite commercial with LeBron, and you couldn't go anywhere without hearing a Drake song. So he's saying I never thought your favorite rapper would want a verse from me. My fella got hit 25 times with a K.
Yeah. So the theory is that when you get into the industry, you have to give verses, you have to give songs over. You got to
give some work over.
You have to give some work over to Drake, and that's your
the chosen artist. This has been the formula, right?
Yeah, this has been the formula. So he's saying, I didn't know that I was going to have to ghostwrite for Drake, but
if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get him to say some really stupid shit.
Yeah, my fella
he's
got
so
hit
dumb.
25 times with a K.
Yep.
Like an AK, or like a K like Kendrick.
Like a Kendrick, exactly.
Yeah. So he gave him a verse, but it was an assassination.
Yes. Make the decision, ride the beat or ride in the hearse. He was either going to have to decide to go through with this or die.
Or that's the end of his career, right? So then we get back into the Heart Part 6, okay? Creatively, I move on with new concepts in reach. Top, remember all them sessions we would strategize? They're strategizing together. This is the strategy, right? Okay, I have to ghostwrite for Drake. Okay, so how am I going to set myself apart from everybody else?
Yep.
Okay, so then they say, you know what? Since you have to write for this guy and he calls himself a rapper, what if you got him to diss himself? What if you dissed him on his record, then you came back and had him diss himself on your record, and then you wrote a verse for him over on A$AP Rocky's album, and he dissed himself on that record too? Yep. What would that do? That would probably put you in the stratosphere.
Yep.
Right?
Because that has never happened before, and it will never happen again.
Yeah. So this is the Heart Part 6. He says to hit the streets and then come back and record 3 records. 3 records, right? The 3 records being Buried Alive, Fucking Problems, Poetic Justice.
Yes.
All right, so then we get into the Heart Part 3. Aren't you getting excited?
And it's funny that he says, and if you think about it too, the way he says it, like his enunciation on it, to hit the streets, come back and record 3 records.
Like he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Heart Part 3, we're getting back to the heart. Like I'm getting really excited now. Okay. Now Punch is my mentor. Top Dog is the coach. J Rock is my older brother. I was there when he wrote. His name on his record deal, we had figured the coast. Would live on a pedestal once the shit hit the store. Found ourselves scrambling, trying to figure it out. Soul told me that the record shop about to go in a drought. So what he's saying here is they came up with a plan and they worked together. They know they can pull this off and it will put them above the rest.
They will put all of TDE on the map.
No one's ever going to be able to touch them, right? They worked together and Soul told him, this is going to sell out. This is how good that is.
Yes.
Q ain't got no place to stay and about to sleep on the couch. We eating off each other's tray, the dollar menu amount. Meanwhile, the coast going hard at each other. The young rappers had wanted some of the OG's comfort, but I ain't need it. I never screamed out the new West Coast. I didn't believe it. They brung each other down. I was planning out my achievements, I needed to separate myself to stand out, I need a better way to take your fans now, I need to kill you motherfuckers dead. 3 hollow tips aimed at your head. So what he's saying here is, while they're working together, while TDE is working together to pull this off, the rap game is still on some East Coast, West Coast bullshit, right? Like, oh, we're fighting. We don't like each other. Ooh, like just this manufactured, like
fake,
like just drama to make
drama
people
for drama's
fighting.
sake.
Yeah. Getting the neighbors fighting over nothing, right? He goes on to say, the young rappers had wanted some of the OG's comfort. They were hoping they would be accepted by some of the old heads, but he said, you know what? I don't need it. I never saw them as competition, and I never said that I did, because that's not how I see it.
Nope.
Right? They tried to make me their competition, but I never saw them as competition. That's them.
He was just working.
He's just doing his thing. They're too busy competing with each other while I'm just focused on what's in front of me, on the now, right? I need to do something different so that I can stand out. 3 songs, 3 albums,
3 hollow tips.
Hollow tips, what are they? They are bullets that expand on impact. Those are those 3 tracks, those 3 albums.
3 hollow tips aimed at your head.
Where the plan was to take Drake out, the industry darling, this antithesis of what Kendrick represents.
Which is real.
Yeah,
real and fake.
Real and fake, right?
Going back to the Heart Part 6, and this is another part that stood out to me. This is towards the end of the track. He says, to tell the truth, it fucked me up when D-Man passed. The motive was the condolences, but the pride crashed. I had to bypass old mythologies I had, put my heart on display like it was an iMac. I kind of read that and I thought to myself, like, he had to overcome these fixed beliefs about the industry, which again is a sentiment echoed in the Heart Part 3. We'll get into that in a second. But again, like maybe using his friend and the grief from him passing as like a euphemism for people not getting it, like putting all this work
putting
into
all
it.
that work in and it going over everybody's head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then,
I shot me when my homie told me to
the very first time I shot me a Drake,
the homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough. I wasn't direct enough.
Today I'll show you I learned from those mistakes. Yes. Yeah. Then feeling guilty for not even like grieving properly, because maybe it is a friend actually dying, due to being wrapped up in all this industry bullshit, right? Like His pride crashed, suffering an ego collapse from all of it, and he had to move past these self-made narratives to
Mr. Morale.
Yep. To like and just to like
his journey of growth.
Yes.
You know.
And even though like his intention and how vulnerable and how open he is on the Heart Part 3 was on record for everyone to see, they still didn't see it.
Yeah.
Right. And then going into the Heart Part 3, he says, I came, I saw, I conquered. No shame, I blame all of this on Conquered. Thinking about when Shireen tried to set me up. And you can go ahead.
So Sharan, like we did a lot of back and forth about Sharan.
We did. This has been a long conversation.
We were trying to figure out like who Sharan represents, right? Because we know the story about Sharan setting him up and all of that, right? So I believe Sharan is a metaphor for the type of person that the rap wants you to be, right? The propaganda wants you to be, which is someone who's stuck in that survival mode, that fight or flight, someone who's stuck in the ghetto mindset and can't get out of it. So he's talking about, think about when Sharan tried to set me up, cold game, full circle, they set her up. So she thinks that she's operating outside of the system.
But she's not.
And that her committing crimes or getting, doing things outside of like what is normal society is her beating the system, but it's not. It's exactly full circle understanding. It's exactly what they wanted her to be doing. That's
without her knowing
it. That's what they want. That's what they want these rappers to rap about. That's why Kendrick had to code his lyrics, because they don't promote people. They don't support rappers.
Uplifting communities.
Conscious rappers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I put my life in these 12 songs, my fight in these 12 songs. Again, this album is my testimony. He's telling you that he's fighting back with Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Fighting what? Fighting who?
Yeah.
The fight to ignite any wrong that I write.
Wrong and right
that I prolong. The story, the short film, the glory of him and them, the worry of mothers that don't recover when baby's killed. He's saying like the fight to illuminate the system in which I am now a part of and contributing to.
Yeah, he's trying to shed light.
He's still going to shed light on it, even though he's in it.
On the dark parts of the system, on like what we don't know. But while also contributing to the system because he has to work within it. So that's why he has to code his lyrics.
And again, the worry of mothers that don't recover when baby's killed.
Yeah, the message, comparing God to them.
Yeah.
So that's the message, right? Like how to recognize and discern between what is art, what is propaganda, what is real rap, what is fake rap.
And how the worry of mothers that don't recover when baby's killed. How I feel about rap is
like
that
they're killing it.
They're killing it. The trial and the tribulations, the newer miseducation, like the hardships and that test like one's endurance and strength. Like the new way to rap is manipulation.
Yeah.
Like
they'll tell you about how like they'll glorify gang life, but they won't talk about the circumstances of why they're in that position or what they learned from that. They just want to glorify the violence and the greed or the lust, like the things that are low vibrational and keep you in survival mode or distract you from working together and breaking out of this.
The view of a body wasted. You knew someone ain't making it. The angry, the adolescent. The reason I asked this question: will you let hip hop die? Will you let hip hop die on October 22nd? He's saying they're like he sees behind the curtain now, and the truth about the industry is, it's withering and it's dying.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna make it. Like he knows it's not gonna make it. The angry, the adolescent, the reason I asked this question, I'm angry. And he's between childhood and adulthood. The purpose of this question is, I'm worried that you won't get what I'm trying to tell you on my album. And it's so fitting that the song ends with that, because it's like, I remember an interview Dr. Dre did where he's saying like, in 50 years, no one's still going to get what Kendrick did on Good Kid, Mad City.
I also want to point out on Whips and Chains on the Clips album, Kendrick's feature, he says, hip hop just died again.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is because the first time they didn't get what he was saying on Good Kid, Mad City, the Heart Part 3 was released on October 20th. Good Kid, Mad City dropped on October 22nd. He says, will you let hip hop die on October 22nd? Are you going to see what I'm trying to tell you?
Are you going to get the message?
And it went over everybody's head. So yes.
Until we found it.
Yeah, he said hip hop died on, so he's saying it died again because again, they're whacking out his murals. They're messing up his art. People still aren't going far back enough. They're not digging deep enough. 50 deep, but it ain't deep enough.
Exactly.
Like you got to keep digging. The message is buried alive.
And again, so that was the Heart Part 6. And then one more thing I want to mention about GNX before we get into the Timothée Chalamet stuff is the song at the end, Gloria, about like, ain't no bitch like my bitch because that bitch been my pen. Like that is another thing that, again, throughout Kendrick's entire career, when he's rapping about a girl, he's rapping about like hip hop and writing, poetry, like being like
his community.
Yes.
Yeah. And I also want to say, I can't remember which song it is. Why You Fed If You Criminal?
Yeah, back on Squabble Up when he says, why you fed if you criminal.
Why you fed if you criminal.
Yep.
Why are you a fed?
If you're criminal.
I just want to put that little
seed nugget
in your head, okay?
So into the Timothée Chalamet interview, which he does as like a promotional thing.
Yeah, and at first
for the Super Bowl.
Just like, okay, so it's just like a cross-promotional. They're forcing him to do this because it's a Super Bowl. But then when you really think about it, it's like, does Kendrick ever just do what he's told? No. Or is he very, very conscious of what he does and who he talks to and
why?
Because at first we didn't think anything of it, honestly. And we kind of stumbled on this revelation as just happenstance because we were going to watch A Complete Unknown.
We were going to watch the Bob Dylan film.
And right before we're about to start it, Anthony drops this on me.
I turned to Des and I just go, hey, before I hit play on this movie, you should probably know that Bob Dylan is a huge piece of shit. And she starts laughing and she's like, well, why?
I was like, pause.
Why?
Elaborate.
And I was like,
elaborate on that.
Well, a lot of his peers and a lot of like the people that he was doing music with at the time don't really like him. They say he's full of shit. They think that he's like a plagiarist. He steals from other people, steals other work from people. And even like at one point, Simon and Garfunkel released a diss track about him called The Boxer.
These guys. Look at these guys. Do they look like the type who would make a diss track?
But they did. They did. It's called The Boxer.
They did. I didn't even know that like folk musicians like did diss tracks.
Yeah, it was nuts.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
So I start doing like a little bit more investigating into Bob Dylan, just who he is. And so he comes on, if you don't know he is considered part of the folk revival movement. But if you know anything, so the folk revival movement started in about the 1940s and ran through like the 1970s. And then
it was very pro-union.
Very pro-union.
Very pro-civil rights.
Very pro the people.
These are woke white folk.
Yeah, that are, they're really trying to...
Anti-government, anti-capitalism.
Yeah, and at a very vulnerable time for America, right? Post-World War II. So Bob Dylan now comes onto the folk revival scene, and he's seemingly like, nobody knows who he is or what he's about. But he starts to adapt the styles and, he's working within the fold. He's welcomed into the fold, and he's picking up different styles. And he's even been accused of ripping off the front half of his career, those first, that first album or so being ripped off of another folk revival artist who ended up having Woody Guthrie, who had throat cancer. So the beginning of his career, kind of shaky. Nobody really knows where he comes from. He lies a lot about who he is, where he's from. No one knows a lot about him. And then he amasses this huge following. Massive following because, he is a very talented guy. So...
And he's saying the right things.
He's saying all the right things. He's adapting the styles and the messaging of the folk revival movement. But then all of a sudden, this guy does like a complete 180 and changes direction.
And he goes pop rock.
And now he's writing anti-union songs. And he's writing an Israeli anthem.
Yeah, later on in his career.
So he really switches it up. And I can even insert some video of what his like the people of that time thought about it.
He just changed altogether. He's changed from what he was. He's not the same as what he was at first.
You don't even recognize him.
No.
About a year ago, I saw him here in Sheffield at the City Hall, and I thought he was magnificent. And, you know, I thought he just couldn't improve if he tried. Then the next thing that happened was he went really commercial with this backing group, and I didn't like that very much. I don't know what he's trying to do. I think he's conceding to the, you know, to some sort of popular taste. I think it's a bad thing. I think he's prostituting himself.
Makes you sick listening to this rubbish now.
Bob Dylan was a bastard in the second half.
I don't think the spirit of the Dylan songs is being portrayed in this, with this incredibly corny group behind him. I like his earlier records as on his freewheeling LPs, etc., but this I just can't stick.
But when you really start to look at what his peers thought about him,
Joni Mitchell in particular, and that woman is the queen of folk music.
Yeah.
Like she
was
on a folk circuit with Neil Young in like Saskatchewan, Canada. Like
and she's never switched up. She has been very consistent in her messaging.
And she even said, and you can find this on Joni Mitchell's website, Bob Dylan is not authentic at all. He is a plagiarist. And his name and voice are fake. Everything about Bob is a deception. We are like night and day, he and I.
Yeah, and
it's very scathing.
His peers and a lot of people consider Bob Dylan to be the Judas of folk revival. And
he even, when he won his Nobel Peace Prize, he literally
plagiarized
the speech.
He plagiarized the speech.
And then didn't show up to accept the award. Like, he's just a piece of shit.
So now I want to talk a little bit, too, about an interview that he did later on in his career. So he's like much older now.
This is on 60 Minutes, I believe.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to hear what he actually said versus what the propaganda says. So I'm going to play that for you now.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I mean, I made a bargain with it, you know, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
And now, this is what I found interesting. All of the media outlets, if you look this interview up, like the commentary around it, it's,
he made a deal with the devil.
With the devil, and that's what he's saying. But that's not what he said, is it?
No.
That isn't what he said. He said that he made a deal with the chief commander.
Mm-hmm.
What does that sound like to you? It doesn't sound like the devil. To me, it sounds like the commander-in-chief, which would be the president.
Or the government.
And he's saying, I'm holding up my end. And the bargain was that I got to do what I'm supposed to do.
When they tell me to do what I got to do.
When they tell me to do, I do what I'm supposed to do. And that's why I am in the position that I am in now. And when you think about that, how this man was able to operate in those spaces with support, even though he wasn't supported by his peers.
Right. Sound like someone else we know?
Yeah, and especially when you see like how the media views Bob Dylan versus what the people at the time, how they viewed him and how his peers viewed him. Nobody really fucked with what Bob Dylan was doing, but the media really, really pushed this guy. And still, I mean,
and
think about how many
balls.
So much so it was kind of disgusting.
So much glazing.
The amount of documentaries this man has made about him, the amount of awards he's won, and the amount of biopics, stuff written about him.
Right.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't get it. But it makes sense when you think about like maybe he's
larger themes at play.
Yeah, maybe there's larger themes at play. Now that's going into the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes.
Which is where Kendrick does a visual representation of the Great American Game.
Yes. And we saw awesome commentary on this. I think a lot of
documentary.
The documentary was
so
choice.
Good.
I wish
please go back and watch.
I wish I knew the guy's name. I'd give him a shout out, but that was great. Like nail on the head.
Well, I think most people know the documentary.
Yes, the documentary.
Yeah.
And again, it should be noted that like Samuel L. Jackson came out and did that interview a couple weeks ago where he said, I didn't even know that I was going to be dressed up like Uncle Sam.
Kendrick is not asking permission anymore.
He's just
the industry
doing
does not have control over Kendrick. Kendrick is doing all of this on his own, and they are desperately trying to keep up with him and to get him to stop
Calm
talking
down.
about it. And they're trying to spin all of this in real time. That's why he's winning the awards. That's why it's not because he's the new industry darling.
It's because they're trying to satiate him.
They're trying to make it seem like this was their plan.
They're
like
trying
he's
to
their guy.
satiate his ego, but when he's
But it's
operating
not-
on his totally shit, it's not an
It's
ego-driven
not coming
thing.
from an ego state. They don't know how to deal with someone like Kendrick who is being like has a
Boogeyman.
purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he gives us bodies.
And we did break down bodies. We're not going to break down the whole Super Bowl. We'll break down bodies and
we'll break down certain parts of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But the big one is bodies because all the messaging is there.
Yeah,
clear as
everybody
day.
else already knows like all the other songs. We've broken all of the other songs down like here and there. So go look at our body of work if you want more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just the bodies breakdown.
Yeah, so this is the bodies breakdown. He starts off by saying the only thing matter right now is living right now, and I can't spare no feelings. The only thing that is significant about right now is living in the now. Again,
Living
being
in the now. Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle, being fully present.
Be present.
And
That's where the power is. The power is
in the now.
right now.
It is in the now. It is not in your past
Or your
body,
future that
or
you
your,
can't control.
or your future that you cannot control. You have to be in the now.
It's the insanity of humanity.
It is the insanity of humanity. And I can't avoid doing or saying anything or something that will hurt someone emotionally because I'm just speaking the truth now.
Yeah.
Quiet on the set, but my aura loud. I navigate through hood shit and wisdom. The money all here, young man. Fuck holding your hand. You'll die broke trying to play victim. The little ideas I told made people go rogue till God did me a big one. He's saying there, I command you to be quiet so that way my message is clear. My aura, though, my presence is easily audible.
I want you to understand what I'm trying to communicate.
Right. He wants you to get the message.
Yeah.
I successfully find my way through the challenges of my given environment, and I'm learning from it as I go.
Yeah.
The money is where I am. Young man implies maturity. So he's kind of like sunning.
Yeah.
I won't coddle you or treat you like a child.
Yeah.
You'll die with the lie. You will never write your wrongs unless you write them down for
Confess.
real. Confess. Confess.
Shame.
The little
Shame.
Shame. Shame. The subliminal messages I spoke made people unpredictable. Or what is that? What are you trying to say there? The subliminal message I spoke made people
Unprincipled.
unprincipled. Thank you. Jesus, I can't read.
I think I spelled it wrong.
I think you did too. It's okay. Until God did me a favor.
Yeah. So then he goes into verse 1. Reincarnated with love, my Gemini twin back, powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged.
Mm-hmm.
This is time. God only favoring us. 12 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bear our truths. The etiquette speak with a vigilant tongue. The predicate this time is fuck you. So what he's saying here is he's reborn with love. His Gemini twin, Pac and him, what their message is, their purpose. Same, but different.
Powering up. They're turning the game on.
Turning the game on. No more being polite. We are preserving our energy. We don't give it away.
Nope.
Everybody is going to trial. But this time around, only God is favoring us.
There's
only
our
God
side and there's God's side and the other side.
Yeah, my whole career, 12 years in, my whole career, he's saying, look at his whole body of work.
Again.
Has been dedicated to sharing the truth, our truth.
Mm-hmm.
The customary code, the new standard with a self-appointed group to undertake law enforcement when law enforcement fails, using our tongue as our sword, as our weapon.
Again, coming back to that.
Yeah. The argument this time is defiance, contempt.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's saying is like the etiquette, the new customary code is to act out against, resistance against what is happening, using our tongues as our swords, speaking about the truths, talking about the reality that is, okay? I'm carrying heavy hearts now. I can power lift with Olympians too. I'm carrying various darts now. I desert this bitch like tiramisu. So he's saying, I'm carrying the generations of pain in my message now. I can lift the heaviest weights. I can lift the weight of the world. This is what he's been preparing for.
Yes.
You know,
he's been prepping for this.
He tried, and you know, we see that through his through Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly, and that's why he pulls songs from, he does Squabble Up, which is a throwback and you know, a call to arms, but also a throwback. He's directing you to Good Kid, Mad City, you know, and then Uncle Sam tells him, hey, cut that out, you know.
Too loud. Yeah,
so then he, you know, that's representative of like Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly, where he was just brash, you know, like he had the Good Kid, Mad City, nobody got it, so he comes out with To Pimp a Butterfly, and he's kind of like in your face with it. You got,
which,
like,
if we're talking about albums that should have won a Pulitzer, it should have been To Pimp a Butterfly.
Well, I think it should have been Good Kid, Mad City. Both are amazing. He could have won one for each.
Yeah,
you know. Then he comes out with DNA, and they're like, yes, this is what we want. We like this. Oh, the Black Panther album, we love this. You know, I think he was kind of battling with feeling like he sold out a little bit, you know, because he went more mainstream with it, but and that made them happy. They gave him the Pulitzer for Damn, you know, so they're happy for that. But he's struggling with his own ego. He's struggling with like what happened and having to like bury his message and not being able to speak his mind. And then he comes out with Mr. Morale. Like, he took a hiatus. He was gone for a while. Then he comes out with Mr. Morale. He's showing you his journey. This is what he had to do so that he could finish this out, so he could see it through.
And he could show you
the game and really like keep going until you get it. And he's not going to stop. He's not going to keep going until you get it. But he did this so he could carry the heaviness that is this message. This is a heavy, heavy message. This is decades of us being lied to and manipulated. Oppressed. Hundreds of years, thousands of years of oppression we're talking about here. And he's carrying this message. He's carrying various darts right now. I desert this bitch like tiramisu. He's supporting various missiles currently. So it's not just him. We've said this, and the more that I look, the more I find that it's not just Kendrick right now who's stepping out and trying to wake people up through the arts.
There's a lot of others.
Even like Severance, the TV show, is trying to wake you up to like the brainwashing of corporate America. You know, you have Sinners. Think about Sinners after you listen to this this little, you know, podcast. Think about what we're saying now. Think about it in the context of Sinners. Right. Like, the art is trying to wake us up. So he's supporting various missiles. Even Beyonce came out, like, they're saying they're connecting the dots between Spaghetti and like a diss towards Drake. Clips coming out and dissing Drake. Like, they're all pointing to something, and they're trying to tell us something, right? The arts are taking the arts back, and he's abandoning this. He's abandoning this industry, this like system that they built.
So he continues on by saying, see, we're going body for body. I hand you a body. I'm probably a better masseuse. I really don't bother nobody, but they run it by me if I got to clear out the room. I stick to myself, but when it's time to fight, I answer the call, and they call me. You would not get the picture if I had to sit you for hours in front of the Louvre. You would not even have a soul if I had told you to stand next to Johnny and Q. He's saying there, you wouldn't understand what it is that I'm doing if I sat you directly in front of my art.
And seeing is not understanding, and hearing does not equate to comprehension. So just because you can dance to the music or you understand parts of the music doesn't mean you get the whole picture.
Exactly. Yeah. And he says, like, you still wouldn't even care if you were introduced to the people that hurt you. You know what I mean? Started with nothing but the government cheese, but now I can seize the government too. Remember, the food stamp color was tan and brown, but now the hunted and blue. Remember, like he's saying, I began with nothing but a government handout, but now I'm so big that I can take on the government as well. Yeah. Which is a very powerful message, especially on the biggest stage in America.
Right? Yeah.
Remember how I started from nothing and built all of this?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's like the real version,
it's
not the
Kendrick's
fake.
version.
This is Kendrick's version. Yeah.
Remember I said I'm the greatest back when you debated the number 1 and number 2. I've been telling you I'm the greatest since before.
Since way back when.
Way back when.
What distinguishes distinguished him as the best, because there's been a lot of debate. Like, what
Every rapper
constitutes
says they're the best, but what distinguishes Kendrick from
like what
everybody
sets him aside,
else?
what sets him apart from everybody else? And it isn't just what happened since 2024. Like, since the beef popped up, it's way before that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The topic was always hilarious to me. You carried him to me, and I brung out and then there was a blank. The idea that Drake was ever considered on his level is laughable. It's funny. You're debating.
You debating who is the better rapper, Drake or Kendrick, is what made him believe that he could ever come back and go for round 2.
Right.
So you brought him back to Kendrick for Kendrick to whoop his ass in round 2.
But this time it's direct and everyone knows what they're doing.
And he's hitting him with the truth. And that's why Drake never had a chance of winning, because Drake is living a lie. He's
a fake.
Who was it? From SNL. Pete Davidson said, like, he met him when he went to SNL.
He's the
and
greatest
he was like,
actor.
He's the greatest actor of all time. He's playing a lifelong role. He is a Canadian actor playing an American rapper.
Period.
And
then he continues by saying, the revolution's about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. And then they go into squabble up.
Yeah. And so the Great American Game, Kendrick's a player, right? He's showing us the game and how it's played. If you don't say, he's telling us how it is. If you don't say what they want you to say,
you don't follow Uncle Sam's rules.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting too, is that he's dressed. You got Samuel L. Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam, not as a business executive,
not as a record executive with a briefcase and a suit.
You think about it. Who is he saying is telling them what to say and what not to say, and like punishes them when they do something wrong and rewards them when they do something right.
You see how we started the video.
Yeah, like it isn't. We study. You got to study, and it's study the governments, because it's not the executives.
Nope.
He's not pointing to an executive. He's pointing to Uncle Sam. So you have to ask yourself, who is telling them? Who is telling them what to say? Who is deducting these lives? If it is the government, what agency would that be? And that leads us to the final part of this,
which is the CIA.
So we're going to go give you a little bit of history, and we're going to give you some reference material. We're not going to try to stay too long in this, because, there's a lot of information that
we're just going to show you
the
highlights. We're going to give you our source material, so that way you can be like, I think they're full of shit. No.
Yeah.
Go ahead and watch the same things we watched.
Yeah, and then form your own opinions. This is about critical thinking. We're all in this together, right? We're all learning this for the first time together. Okay, so the CIA, we did a big deep dive into the CIA. Did you know that the CIA has been covertly involved in music, television, radio,
all of
modern
media,
art, fine arts, all of the media, the museums, everything? They have
since its inception.
And this is well documented. So this has been going on, which means if you know, this has been going on, and including activism and college campuses, this has been going on since its inception, even before the 1940s, but really kicked up in the 1940s and beyond. So we know this is well documented. So it's safe to assume if they've been doing this is a consistent pattern.
They're probably still
doing it.
And
okay.
The amperage on them doing it is probably cranked up to 11.
Yeah, they're just going to get better and better and better. Like when they get caught doing something naughty, they just change the name and keep doing it. So if you watch Hidden Hands, A Different History of Modernism, a documentary, it's from 1995, okay? And it's located on YouTube. You will learn about how the CIA created the modern art movement. Jackson Pollock? Yeah, he was an asset. He's a Fed. They did this to discredit and distract from communist art that was coming out of communist countries, okay? It was gaining a lot of popularity, communist art was, because it resonated with a lot of people here. It's getting a lot of traction, the communist artists, so they start to covertly put money behind the art that they wanted to be popular, which was art that didn't really mean anything.
Yep.
And Jackson, when you think of Jackson Pollock, it's just
It's a bunch of squiggles on it's everywhere.
And they worked in conjunction with wealthy white America.
And with the media.
And the museums. They would funnel money to these people to promote this art and to purchase this art so that it would like make it seem more desirable. Like there's something that like the regular person just doesn't get.
And then they put out propaganda like, if you don't understand what Jackson Pollock is doing here, then you don't understand art.
Yeah. So here I'm going to insert a clip about where a CIA director is literally talking about their decision to do this move, like to push the modern art movement covertly. They're just going to do things covertly now because they don't want to deal with
the people.
Congress or the people's opinion. They just want it's just easier if they make it a secret, right? Then they don't have to deal with anybody who doesn't want that.
Well, of course, one feature of doing it covertly is that the administration, the executive branch, could make the decision and do it. I mean, and it makes it a lot easier than the kind of debate that would occur with the Congress and every opinion element in the country on everything.
So this documentary was by Frances Stoner Saunders. You should look her up. She's written a book called The Cultural Cold War. It details how the CIA would use taxpayer dollars to influence not just the arts that were being made and distributed, but to additionally influence mass opinion about said art by infiltrating museums via boards of directors and influencing the media's response and advocacy of the arts the CIA wanted to popularize and be accepted as art. So this art is often void of depth or meaning. It doesn't tell a full story. It's disconnected from the artist and from the people.
Right.
Okay.
And then if you watch Drugs as a Weapon Against Us, you can purchase that on Fandango.
Go watch it.
You will find
it's really long and you have to watch it in pieces.
You got to watch it in pieces.
But it's worth it.
You will find evidence that supports that the CIA manipulated musicians and has a pattern of manipulating musicians and activists in order to promote drugs for social control, particularly regarding the civil war, anything regarding civil rights and anti-war sentiments.
Yeah,
especially in the 60s with Vietnam.
Yeah, and in the 90s, like what we saw with the East Coast, West Coast, I definitely think that was a manufactured.
Yeah, it was manufactured.
Rivalry just to divide people. Because, that's what Tupac was trying to do and they talk about Tupac, about his mom, about COINTELPRO, and about how they harassed his mom and Tupac even after she won her case and was released.
Yep. So. Yeah. And again, it's further showing this pattern of using the arts as a way to promote drug use and unconscious living, right?
Yeah, to keep you in your pain body, to keep you
in your pain body,
keep you in survive or fight or flight, in survival mode, so that you don't organize.
And it convolutes the message, right? So like you're sitting there in like the hippy dippy movement, thinking, oh yeah, like we're gonna organize and we're gonna get all good, but then you show up to this party, you take some acid, and then you can get completely disconnected from the movement, right?
Yeah, and you're not organizing now, you're just partying.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's names in here that they drop that they say are CIA compromised, and they really show a pattern of behavior where the CIA will infiltrate, and not everybody who is in the arts is working directly with the CIA.
Some of them don't know.
Some of them don't know that they're being manipulated by the CIA. Or
some of them are being funded by the CIA, but they don't know that they're being funded. They don't even know.
Yeah, some of them are being influenced by the CIA and they don't know because it might be your manager, or it might be your producer, or it might be your
drug dealer.
Or your lawyer. You just don't know. Yeah.
So again, that one was, you got to watch it in chunks, you got to watch it in pieces. But another one, and this is the one that was my favorite throughout the whole research, if you go watch Dear Mama.
Yeah, well, watch Dear Mama and The Defiant Ones just to really understand the music industry and Tupac.
But you can find that on Hulu or Disney. You'll also get a history lesson in it, how the CIA infiltrated the CIA and the FBI infiltrated,
together.
Yes, COINTELPRO. Infiltrated the Black Panther movement and destroyed it from the inside out, right?
Yeah.
And if you know anything about the Black Panther movement, it was all about affordable housing, access to healthcare, communities,
bringing people up, and they were very anti-drug.
Free lunch, free breakfast for kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they had programs in place.
Yeah, and like the only reason why we know about COINTELPRO is because
COINTELPRO.
Because a bunch of white activists went and broke into an FBI
it was like an FBI office, storage facility.
Where they found all these files, and then they released all these files to the public. And so that's how we found out about COINTELPRO, and they are still doing these operations.
1,000% still doing
it. If you go and you look at all, the reason why we're giving you this information to go watch and look at yourself is so that it can help you discern between what is propaganda
and real.
What is real, what is art.
Exactly.
Because when you really come to grips with the fact that they are manipulating you through the media, not just what you like as an art, like what artist you like, but like how to interpret it. They work in the media, they work in the museums, like every single art form. It is a round the clock. Yeah, you want to know where that money that's disappearing in the Pentagon is going? It's not just going into the pockets of these military people or like the military industrial complex. It's also like these programs that are being funded by the FBI and the CIA to fuck with our heads covertly. Like we don't have it. Like that's crazy. That's like back in the day when like the Catholic Church controlled what was considered art and what wasn't, and what you could say and what you couldn't say. And if you didn't listen to them, like you got killed.
And that's what makes Michelangelo so fucking cool about painting the Sistine Chapel. Like that dude was rumored to just be like gay at the time, and you couldn't be gay back then. So what does he do to like stick it to the church and thumb his nose at the church? Paints that chapel with a bunch of dudes with their dicks hanging out. Like rock star shit. It's awesome.
So you got to say, if the CIA has a well-documented pattern of covertly influencing political and social activism, the film and music industry, the fine arts and the museums, magazines and television,
radio, all of it,
and a history of murdering anybody who does not fall in line, what does that tell you about what could be going on right now behind the scenes in today's art?
Exactly.
Right? We need to start asking these questions because the revolution is here. And if we don't have these conversations, they get to continue to do this. Okay? So the idea is that the artists are trying to tell us the difference. They're trying to help us discern. The real artists are trying to help us discern between the propaganda and the art, and to push out the members of their community, of their the artistic community that aren't really artists.
No.
And have some nefarious like
why you fed
motivations.
If you criminal.
Why are you fed if you are a criminal? Why are you a fed if you are a criminal? Okay.
And again, knowing and discerning what the CIA propaganda looks like. Does it look like a distraction? Does it encourage you to engage in bad behavior without communicating any sort of life lesson?
Yes.
You know, low vibrational thinking. That's what they
because art has
expertise
a message.
Is in.
Art has a message. Art has depth. It is the fuller picture.
It will get you out of that old way of thinking.
It will connect. The art will have a connection to the artist. It will not be disconnected like we're seeing with Drake's and people like Drake's, like, or Bob Dylan, where the art is not really reflective of the artist, right? No. And Ice Cube, there's an interview, and we'll put that in here.
Who benefits and profits off our bickering and our division? You know, it's like follow the money. I don't know their names, Bill, but if you follow the money, you go high enough, you start to see, okay, you know, this is an industry. Okay, let's take rap music.
Let's take it.
Same people who own the labels own the prisons. So,
literally the same people?
Literally the same people who own the labels own private prisons. So, you know, it seems really kind of suspicious, if you want to say that word, that, you know, the records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't. Certain flavors are exposed on the record. You know, some records are made by committee, meaning record company guys sit around and tell the artists, this is hot, say that, do this. We're gonna have this guy write the lyrics. We're gonna have that. So the narrative is really kind of, you know, structured and really made into what the record company want the record to be, and what the, you know, a lot of artists are frustrated with this kind of music making. You know, a lot of people, you know, feel like they're being controlled by the label. This is how they do it. Telling you what songs to sing, what hooks to do, what songs, you know, you can do your song, that's fine. That's an album cut. But the single is what we all say is the single. So you have, you know, the record company pushing the narrative, you know, and you know, so this to me is in somewhat, you know, some social engineering going on here to make sure those prisons stay full. Now, there's a lot of dots to connect to make that happen, but I'm just giving you a broad example of how people at the top can manipulate what's going on with the people who are bickering and fighting.
So yeah, like Ice Cube said, follow the money. And like Tupac said, go back and study.
Study, put the dots together, ask yourself the questions that everyone should be asking ourselves. How involved is the government in the arts? How involved are these executives in the arts? What are the artists trying to tell us through the art that they cannot say out loud?
Can't say in plain English.
Because I think if there's one thing that we've learned through this entire experience, it's that the reality of the music industry is not what we've been told.
Many people find watching TV relaxing. Observe yourself closely and you will find that the longer the screen remains the focus of your attention, the more your thought activity becomes suspended. And for long periods you're watching the talk show, game show, sitcom, or even commercials, with almost no thought being generated by your mind. Not only do you not remember your problems anymore, but you become temporarily free of yourself. And what could be more relaxing than that? So does TV watching create inner space? Does it cause you to be present? Unfortunately, it does not. Although for long periods your mind may not be generating any thoughts, it has linked into the thought activity of the television show. It has linked up with the TV version of the collective mind and is thinking its thoughts. Your mind is inactive only in the sense that it is not producing thoughts. It is, however, continuously absorbing thoughts and images that come through the TV screen. This induces a trance-like passive state of heightened susceptibility, not unlike hypnosis. That is why it lends itself to manipulation of public opinion, as politicians and special interest groups, as well as advertisers, know and will pay millions of dollars to catch you in that state of receptive unawareness. They want their thoughts to become your thoughts, and usually they succeed.